operations and all that. Just we're talking about CIA, FBI, law enforcement agencies basically doing their job, trying to do their job to get the data for criminal investigations. And with that, over to you, Julia.
Yeah, so the first fun fact is we're German and we do beer, but not fun, so don't expect too much.
حلو طبعا مو زي كذا.
Is someone still
وشكله حلو.
not muted?
عشان أحطه زي كذا في السوشيال ميديا. ببغى زي هذا مو حلو. بواحد حلو.
يعني example.
أوكي.
تقدر تسوي زي أنت تيجي تسوين.
Okay, I'm just trying to continue. Yeah. All right. Okay, so the German Constitutional Court actually put a lot of safeguards in place for limiting law enforcement from basically trying to do their job and conduct government hacking. So in 2016, the government agencies finally were done with their first kind of own hacking software that they could use to get all the data of the criminals. But because of the restrictions of the Constitutional Court, they ended up with a government hacking software, a Trojan malware, that could only record Skype conversations and only on Windows platforms. So there's millions of euros and dollars went into a malware that could do one thing, record Skype conversations. That's all, not more, nothing more.
Fun fact number 3 is the self-programmed remote forensic software built by the Federal Office for Criminal Investigation to infiltrate was so bad that the National Cybersecurity Agency, which is actually working to defend against any such software, had to support, write the code, and secure the software, the servers. The support was supposed to be kept under the radar as the image could be damaged, and obviously what happened, everyone found out, and now there's those trust issues between companies and civil society and the Cybersecurity Agency, which is supposed to defend against everything. So not so helpful.
Fun fact number 4. In 2017, the German government actually set up its own entire agency, which was dedicated only to buy and research and program tools for hacking and big data analysis and stuff. And they are supposed to give those tools to other law enforcement agencies and security agencies in Germany. Problem is, they so far have not succeeded in developing, buying, or doing anything remotely useful as of terms for hacking tools for other police agencies and security agencies, which is why the security agencies are not very happy with all the resources that went into that agency since 2017, because it has delivered zilch, nothing, nada. But then again, on the plus side, after 2 years, so in 2019, it was finally operational. Only took 2 years to make it operational. And by the way, it has like only 100 staff. It took them 2 years to hire 120 staff.
So another fun fact, in 2014, Germany's Federal Office for Criminal Investigation hacked the secure Telegram messengers accounts of 8 persons. The users of these accounts were suspects in ongoing criminal investigations against extremist right-wing groups. The hack allowed them to access the entire history of the non-encrypted chats, including media files connected to the accounts, as well as new messages in real time. The hack used a mixture of features and flaws in the messenger and account design, and it was a whole lot of work to get there, involved also the telecommunication provider. And then the data that was obtained in the hack, together with other pieces of evidence, was then presented in the court, that eventually convicted the suspects in spring 2017. But there was additional human intelligence information from the domestic intelligence services, as well as compelling evidence obtained through conventional wiretapping. So the latter actually led to the evidence that was then the basis for the indictment. So the whole thing was probably redundant.
Fun fact number 6. So we're now having a couple of laws on the table in Germany. And if all those laws pass through the parliament in autumn this year, which hopefully they don't, they will enable security agencies to mandate telecommunication providers, internet service providers, and over-the-top services such as WhatsApp, that's how they're defined, to deliver malware directly to the users. So you're gonna get poisoned WhatsApp updates specifically only created for you with a nice backdoor. And even better, because they can involve the internet service providers and they're working together with our beautiful Finfisher company in Munich, they can actually set up proxies that automatically deliver that malware whenever the users go to a certain website and conduct a beautiful man-in-the-middle malware delivery. We are so excited about that.
So fun fact number 7, it has never really been evaluated whether government hacking led to any real successes in lowering or preventing crimes. Nevertheless, their state level legislations and federal legislations are still being proposed that eventually all security agencies should just do it.
Fun fact number 8. Right, the current status quo is that every government agency in Germany can do with vulnerabilities whatever they want. They don't have to give it to the cybersecurity agency. They don't have to give it to the vendor. They don't have to give it to anyone. They can do whatever they want. Sometimes they can just keep it in the basement or in the safe, locked up, and not talk about it for years. But the funny thing is, no one wants to change that. There's processes that we've been talking about for 3 years right now, which we want to establish, also based on the American Vulnerabilities Equities process. But neither most of the civil society groups, nor industry, nor government agencies actually want that, and they don't want to change the status quo, even though the status quo is basically horrible for everyone. Law enforcement, cybersecurity agencies, civil society, but no one wants to change it.
So fact number 9, even though the focus of those legislations that we've been mentioning are more focused on domestic and national security, the cybersecurity policies and strategies that are being communicated are actually super defense oriented, aiming to achieve IT security and resilience for society and businesses. In 2017, the German government even proposed in the agenda to have the goal to become the crypto country #1 in the world. So the German government doesn't seem to understand that government hacking does not necessarily increase IT security, or in general, they should maybe learn more about their cyber stuff and differentiate a little bit more.
So if you now think like we're really disorganized and nothing is working in Germany and government hacking is kind of a mess here, you're right. But as we are very German, of course, we have a great structure and a perfect organization when it comes to cybersecurity. So Julia and I spent the last hour to draw you a little picture of how the German cybersecurity architecture looks like. And that's how it looks like. So on the top, in the blue, you see the European level institutions, which are connected to the gray level, which are the federal institutions, which are connected to the purple ones, which is the state level institutions. We haven't come down to the local level yet because we were running out of time, but that's gonna be most probably next. So if ever you think cybersecurity in Germany is not working, yeah, that might have something to do with that.
Like that.
Can you guys see the cyber or not? Chris,
Right,
could you hear the last video? So maybe we just post the link into the chat groups then.
Okay.
It's a video of politicians saying cyber because they all want to cyber without really knowing.
So does anyone have any questions for Julia and Sven? You'll have to unmute yourselves to ask.
So the two of you don't think that the German government, especially with the lovely, jubbly, who does what and whatever, have the capabilities currently like the Dutch government do for hacking? No.
So I mean, for law enforcement, no. Most probably we're gonna end up buying some stuff from Finfish or Celebrite or NSO, maybe not. Who knows? The military also not. We're yet unsure about the capabilities of the foreign intelligence service. It's something that we don't know a lot about it. But honestly, from what I've heard, I don't think so.
For those who don't know, the Dutch government was the first government that put in writing that they had the right to hack into any device anywhere in the world as long as a Dutch prosecutor signed off on it. So it could be an IT, IoT, or ICS system. And they do a lot of hacking into, for example, CCTV systems to get footage of criminals or nation states. The absolute proof of them hacking into various government systems.
So I just want to give another minute for questions. Is there anyone else who has any other questions?
Yeah, I see a question in the chat about Maximator, which is the company which was set up between, I think, the US and German intelligence agencies to develop a crypto tool, which was a great crypto tool because it was only secure for certain people, and for other governments, they sold an insecure version and let the Germans and the Americans have access to all the communications running through it. And the great thing is we even sold it to some of our allies. Yeah, there was kind of a story here earlier this year. I don't think we can repeat that.
And on the other question, if we have like the US Cyber Command, we do have a unit that's also horizontal. So pulling everyone who works on information security across the military, but their responsibility is to defend their own systems. Yeah, and then maybe Sven, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think technically or theoretically, if Parliament signs off, if they are going into war, then with any country, and if they're sent there, then they could use offensive tools there as well. But I don't know of any concrete cases.
Yeah, so you need a parliamentary mandate for military operations. Afghanistan was one thing. That's the only thing we know, that in Afghanistan, the German military cyber operation unit took down some cell phone provider, a telecommunication provider. But that's the only thing we know.
Any last questions? Okay, I'd like everyone who has their camera on or microphone unlocked give a big hand of applause to Julia and Sven.